Welcome to episode 252 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today, I'm looking at whether or not the Miami Dolphins should draft Justin Fields with the number 3 overall pick in the upcoming 2021 NFL Draft. Just to understand how this is even possible, we have to assume at number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars would take Trevor Lawrence, and then at number 2, the Jets would have to just not draft Justin Fields. That's the basic assumption, whether it be keeping Sam Darnold, drafting no lineman, or drafting Zach Wilson over Justin Fields, or trading the pick and someone else doesn't take Justin Fields. Either way, Justin Fields obviously cannot go in the first 2 picks for him to be available at number 3 for the Miami Dolphins. There's a lot of speculation right now if Tua Tagovailoa is the answer for Miami Dolphins. Is he the quarterback for them? Is he the franchise of the future in Miami? And to me, is Justin Fields the answer for Miami? My answer is no, but that does not mean I am set on Tua being the star guy that will take Miami to the next level, take him to a deep playoff run, take him to the Super Bowl. I think in the long term, Miami is definitely going to regret not drafting Justin Herbert over Tua Tagovailoa. None of us knew at the time that Justin Herbert was going to pan out to be this great, and Tua wasn't going to be as good as Justin Herbert. So I can't blame him, but I just do think it will be a regret of theirs in the long term. Tua Tagovailoa does have potential. Everyone's kind of shitting on him. I think he has potential. I mean, the dude went, I don't know the exact number, but 6-3 as a rookie, as a starter, finished the season at 10-6. So you can't say he sucks just yet. I think my biggest reason of why I don't want to move on from Tua is just because it's way too soon. I mean, the kid's played half a season. You can't just abandon him yet. Do I think he's the answer? I don't know. But because I don't know, that's why I'm not bailing on him yet. You have, if you're the Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores, one of the best coaches in the NFL, and he's definitely emerging as a top 5 coach in the NFL, in my opinion. I don't know if he's there yet, but he's getting there. One of the best defense in the NFL, Miami Dolphins. Xavier Howard led the league in interceptions. I believe he had 10 interceptions on the season. Second place was 9 interceptions. So that defense is locked down, arguably top 5. Arguably top 3, and arguably number 1. So to me, they're a top 5 defense if I had to really look at it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're in my top 3 if I wrote them all down. Of course, you got the Rams in there, and then probably the Colts or Steelers if they're healthy. So looking at the defense and the coach, a foundation is there. You don't really even have to touch the defense. The coaching staff is all there, and that's really a lot as a football team to have. Some teams don't have anything to really work with. I mean, the Detroit Lions, I like Matt Stafford, but besides him, you're just looking at a hot piece of garbage in Detroit. Same with the New York Jets. I guess you could say the New York Jets this year. They don't have a lot in their future. I do think they have potential if they do it the right way, but I could see them definitely messing it up. Cleveland Browns took them 25 years to actually get something going. They were hot garbage for a while. So the Dolphins definitely have something, and I don't think they should be just abandoning Tua like he's a piece of crap. Couple things that I don't like. Tua's physicality. He's not a big dude, and he's had a history of injuries. So every time he gets hit, I just get nervous. Like, oh God, he's gonna have an injury. He's gonna be out for the season. Every single hit, I have a concern for him. I just don't see him taking a big hit like 6'6" Justin Herbert, like Big Ben, like Josh Allen. He doesn't have that physicality to just eat a DN in the face. Another thing, the Miami Dolphins babysit him way too much. Every time he has a bad game, every time he has I don't want to say a bad drive, but every time he's just showing a decline in the game, they take him out, throw in Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they don't let him learn or earn the loss. And what I mean by earn the loss is like you take the loss and you learn from it. You actually get the loss, you actually finish the game, you actually play it out and develop throughout the game. You understand what a loss is, not just taking him out and throwing Fitzpatrick and hoping he could save the day. That is not something Tua is ever going to learn from if you continue to babysit him. Furthermore, I think they need to open up the offensive game plan for Tua, the offensive coordinator. I could see Miami moving on from him and hiring someone new because they have too many dink and dunks for Tua to just throw 5 to 7 yard passes. We've seen Tom Brady have a successful 20-year period of doing that. However, he always had the occasional deep ball when needed. Tua, he doesn't have that even occasionally. Yes, I know it's his rookie year. Yes, I know the Dolphins are in love with their offensive coordinator, so there is potential that maybe he does have a great arm that can launch it on the field and just haven't been given the opportunity. However, I don't think it's there. So between possibly not having the arm strength, not having the physicality, having the injury history, and having the continual babysitting, it's not something the Dolphins are really excited about for those 4 things, but there is one underlying factor that you have to consider that just outweighs everything, and it's that Tua wins games. I mean, no matter how many times you want to pick on him about his size, about his arm strength, about his arm accuracy, about his QB vision, so on and so forth, every little attribute that you might not like about him, Tua wins games. He's, like I said, I don't know the exact number, but I believe he's 6-3, if I'm not mistaken, losing to the Broncos, Chiefs, and Bills. Bills was a tough loss, having his worst game of the season. That's not something you want to go into the offseason to. But outside of those 3 games, he has had a successful season as a rookie and has gotten the job done, even with the dink and dunks. He doesn't have the greatest offense. Devontae Parker, very good receiver in my opinion. Miles Gaskins, great in the backfield. But outside of those 2 guys, there's not much to work with. Mike Gesicki as well, but you see Aaron Rodgers relies on Devontae Adams and his running back Aaron Jones, pretty much 2 guys. But you have to consider Devontae Parker's not as good as Devontae Adams. Miles Gaskins is not as good as Aaron Jones, and Tua is definitely not as good as Aaron Rodgers. So you can't expect the same outcome out of just out of this trio as good as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I'm not saying anyone's comparing them to that, but that's really all they have to work with, and it's very rare it works out. The Miami Dolphins need a little bit more offense. I think at the number 3 pick, they should not draft Justin Fields. I think they should keep Tua and, see what you got. I mean, it's, like I said, it's only been half season and finished 10-6. You really can't complain about that. I'm not sure anyone really saw the Dolphins even being in playoff conversation this year. So for them to even make it that far, it's an accomplishment in itself. I'm proud of the Dolphins for making it this far. I do think Tua has a lot of potential, especially if they surround him with the right thing. Instead of taking the number 3 pick and worrying about whether or not what they should do with Tua and what they should do with Justin Fields and at the quarterback position, they need to worry about what they could do to help Tua. And to me, that is either drafting the now winning Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith, or I think it's drafting Jamar Chase from LSU, or drafting Penei Sewell, the offensive tackle from Oregon. I think you either protect him or give him another weapon to work with. Number 3 seems a little high for a receiver. It does. Just number 3 overall seems very high. I think the last guy to go super high like that, Corey Davis, went 5th to the Tennessee Titans. But to go number 1, number 2, number 3, I think Calvin Johnson, who is Megatron. I mean, he's one of the best receivers of all time. I could be mistaken. I'm not really worrying about the statistics of that exact fact I'm trying to state here. But just saying, number 3, I think to anyone sounds a little high for a receiver. So maybe they might trade down just a little bit in case someone else is trying to get Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, and then draft Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase there. Now, if they're going for Penei Sewell, number 3 sounds perfect for him. I'm not sure what the Dolphins are really worried about. I'm not their GM. If you guys need a hand, give me a call. But as of right now, to me, it's between those 2, and I can't make that final decision. I think a weapon is the main priority right now because Tua does have some mobility to him, so he can scramble and get out of the pocket and run the ball when the pressure is there at times. Yes, the protection needs to be addressed, but to me, him being able to throw the ball and getting a deep threat and a lethal passing game is the most serious thing needed right now for the Miami Dolphins. To me, Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase is the answer for the Miami Dolphins to go from a 10-6 non-playoff team to a playoff team. I think adding a weapon to Tua, not getting rid of Tua, is an answer for the Miami Dolphins. Justin Fields, I think it has great talent. And if the Dolphins drafted him, I do understand the move. I don't think it's a great move, but it is an understandable move. To me, it is not the right move. I think the Dolphins stick with Tua. I don't know if he's the answer to Miami, but right now it's way too soon to move on from him just yet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Any other videos you want to see, what Tua should do, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, if you agree with me, 2 in the morning.